Welcome gamers, Hazzador here, and today I want to answer the question, should you buy Battlefield 1? The first thing you notice straight away is that it feels like a Battlefield game. The freshest game in my memory is Battlefield 4 because I basically missed Hardline because I knew it wasn't going to be that good, but Battlefield 4 was so good in its prime. And Battlefield 1 just feels so much like this, but in a good way. It's not like a carbon copy because it's a completely different environment, of course set in World War I, and actually thinking about World War I, the setting and the World War feel of this game, it just hits its spot on. The sound, the environment, the characters in the campaign, the maps, the vehicles, everything just makes you feel like you're in World War I. And of course this is not a hyper realistic game, the tanks weren't really used that much and basically all the weapons used were DMRs, and it's not going to be like a realistic game and a very realistic portrayal of how World War I was, but it's pretty much close to how a World War I game should feel like and how a Battlefield game should feel like. This really is all out scale war, and the gameplay from Battlefield 1 will really remind you of previous Battlefield games if you are a veteran to the series. Large scale conquest is just as good as it's ever been, with vehicles dominating the battlefield, but certain points catering to infantry as well. There's still a massive emphasis on teamwork, and destruction in this game is one of the things that I've enjoyed the most so far. In BF4 we had Levolution, where events caused massive changes to the gameplay and they changed the map in general. For example, the whole map had become flooded, or for example, as on Siege of Shanghai we had that massive building just falling to the ground and completely changing the game. But on BF1 we don't have this. Instead of having one big massive event, we have basically everything destructible. If you look at a map at the start of a game and look at it at the end, it's just been absolutely bombed to shreds. Vehicles are just destroyed all over the place, there are holes in the ground, and it just looks like a real life war-torn battlefield. And towards the end of the game, it will feel like a completely different map, and I think that's a good thing. It changes up gameplay massively, and that's the reason why you should buy this game, because it just keeps fresh. It doesn't stagnate at all, and even though Battlefield games can last quite a long time, if the maps are constantly changing like this, for example there's one building where the enemy team's dominating in, you can just destroy that, and the dominance may stop and the tide switches from side to side. Now although this may not be a reason to buy this game, the story in Battlefield 1 is actually really good. The developers have actually pushed out this story quite a lot, as it's been in a lot of the trailers and stuff, and to be honest it's one of the best Battlefield stories I've played in a while. You are not catered to one specific character, just fighting people in the same environments and stuff, no. You play as several different people battling on very different battlefields. You could be in the jungle, in a tank, in an airplane, in a desert, in loads of different countries, and the story for this Battlefield game is going to be really good in my opinion, but it's definitely not a reason to buy the game. It's something that you're going to play once and probably put down, but that one time you play it, it's going to leave a very big impact on you. A specific scene that left me with a big impact was when you're playing on a battlefield in trench warfare, and you play as different people, and every time they die, you see like when they were born, when they died, and their full name, and then you switch to somebody else and then they die and it says the same, then you switch to somebody else, and it really does make you feel and gives a big impression of you of that in this world war, loads and loads of people died. This wasn't just a few people died, this was in the thousands and thousands, and there was just so much destruction everywhere. Now of course you don't buy Battlefield for the story, you buy it for its absolutely exhilarating multiplayer, and I can tell you now, Battlefield 1 is no different from other Battlefield games that have been so successful. This is a true gem of first person shooting in my opinion. I may be a bit of a fanboy because I just love Battlefield so much, but this game is definitely going to keep me entertained for close to 1,000 hours. There is just so much to do. There are maps, there are guns, there are vehicles, there are different heroes on a battlefield like flamethrowers and heavies, there's teamwork, there's massive vehicles coming in like blimps and zeppelins. If you're a Battlefield veteran, you'll definitely realise that this is a true Battlefield game, but if you are a newcomer as well, coming from a COD background, I think you'll still like this game, but maybe it's not for you because Battlefield and COD are very different games. In Battlefield 1, we have the same generic game modes we've had in every single Battlefield like Conquest, Rush, Team Deathmatch, stuff like this that are going to be very solid, but there are some new game modes too. Most notably, and in my opinion the best mode in this game, is Operations. It's sort of like a mixture of Conquest and Rush, where you have to push forward, there's an attacking team and a defending team, and you push two objectives. And this is unbelievable. It can lead up to matches that can last over 1 hour. And not only this, these matches can span over multiple maps as well. So as the attacking team, you attack certain objectives, then you push on to a next map, then you push on to another and another, and it really does make you feel that, wow, World War I really did span over lots of different countries. I'm not too sure if Operations is going to be the game mode that kills Conquest, or it's going to be the game mode that is sort of the most played on in the game, but I definitely think it's going to be solid and it's going to be played by a good little community of people. Then we do have other game modes like this one called Carrier Pigeon, which, to be honest, isn't really that good. I mean, it was fun to play, but it's going to die down after a few games or a few months, I think. It's going to be the same thing like we had in Battlefield 4 when we had a lot of new game modes like Obliteration, for example, that were popular at the start. A lot of people played them, but after a while, everybody went to Conquest. And I think it's going to be same for Battlefield 1. One of the most outstanding things on this game is the weather, whether it's fog or rain or whatever it is just absolutely amazing. Or if it's mud on the ground, I mean, on some situations, if you go on the floor and then you get back up, your weapon has loads of mud around and it just looks so realistic. The graphics are out of this world, and I mean, I can't praise this game enough for its graphics, to be honest, and the weather changing environment is just something else as well. I mean, if you throw a gas grenade, wind can push it in a specific direction. We've not seen this, I don't think we've ever seen this sort of thing in gaming, especially in a multiplayer game, and we are set for something special with Battlefield 1. There are a few more serious reasons why you may not want to get this game. The first two are, look at the last game DICE made. Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah, that game didn't turn out exactly very good, did it? It died after a week or two, and I'd be surprised if anyone even plays it anymore. And then, look at the last Battlefield game DICE made, Battlefield 4. Yes, it was an amazing game a few months after launch, but the day it came out, it was a buggy mess. There was so much rubber banding, the lag was awful, the servers were just atrocious, and you could barely play the game. I mean, it was literally unplayable. Battlefield 1 better not be like this, because a lot of people will turn off and they'll be so disappointed with the developers if they make the same mistake twice. Now, possibly the biggest reason why you shouldn't buy Battlefield 1 is the season pass that's been announced, or Battlefield Premium, whatever you want to call it. This is going to run at £50. I think it may be £40 and $50, I'm not too sure, but it's basically the same price as a full game. Now, what does this mean for the game? It means that there's going to be a lot of content missing at launch. Guns, maps, whole factions like the French army and the Russian army, these things are not going to be in the game. And if you like games where there's loads of content, loads of maps, weapons and stuff like this, I think you may not want to buy this, because behind this season pass, there's going to be a lot of content, and in fact, there may even be enough for a whole new game. A lot of people are going to be disappointed at this, because if they buy the vanilla version of Battlefield and don't want to buy their season pass, they may be disappointed because a few months after launch, when this DLC comes out, they're getting bored of the maps and the weapons that they're currently using and want to try out new ones, but they cost money and they can't. I think this season pass is a bit too expensive, and there's going to be so much content hidden behind it that it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But me personally, I think I'm going to buy the season pass. I'm definitely buying Battlefield 1, and I think you should buy it, definitely. It could possibly be the best first person shooter of the year, but I don't think it'll be game of the year. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe for more.